that, deep within a dark, mysterious forest, a place most people would never dare to venture, lived 3 little devils. Now, when you hear the word devil, you probably think of mischief, trouble, and maybe a little bit of fire and brimstone. But these 3 weren't like that at all. They weren't evil, not one bit. They were just ... well, incredibly poor and unlucky. They lived in a humble little hollow, with no gold to their name, no fine clothes to wear, and their daily meals consisted of whatever wild roots and bitter berries they could forage from the forest floor. It was a tough life, and their stomachs rumbled more often than not. One morning, as the first rays of sunlight struggled to pierce through the thick canopy of leaves, the 3 devils gathered together. A shared look of determination passed between them. They were tired of being poor, tired of being hungry, and tired of being unlucky. "This can't be it," said the first devil, his voice barely a whisper, but filled with resolve. "There must be a bigger world out there, a world with opportunities, with fortune." The others nodded in agreement. And so, with nothing but the tattered clothes on their backs and hope in their hearts, they decided to leave the forest behind and venture out into the world to seek their fortune. They walked for what felt like an eternity, their little legs growing tired on the dusty, unfamiliar road. The sun beat down on them, and the world outside the forest was much bigger and louder than they had ever imagined. Just as their spirits began to sag, they saw a figure ahead, sitting by the side of the road. It was an old man, his back hunched and his face etched with the lines of a long, hard life. He looked frail, weak, and desperately hungry. The 3 little devils stopped. They looked at the old man, and then they looked at each other. They didn't have much. In fact, all they had left was a single, small piece of stale bread they had been saving. The first devil, without a moment's hesitation, spoke up. "Sir," he said gently, "we don't have much, but we can share what we have." He approached the old man and offered him their last piece of bread. The second and third devils nodded in agreement, their own hunger forgotten in the face of someone who seemed to need it more. The old man's tired eyes lit up with a spark of surprise and gratitude. He took the bread, his hands trembling slightly, and a kind, warm smile spread across his face. He took a small bite and then looked at the 3 of them. "You are poor," the old man said, his voice surprisingly strong and clear. "But your hearts are pure gold. Your kindness in a world that has given you so little is a rare and precious thing. For this, you must be rewarded. I will give each of you a gift." As he spoke these words, a soft, magical light began to emanate from him. The air crackled with a gentle energy. The old man waved his hand, a graceful, sweeping motion, and in a flash of shimmering light, 3 objects appeared out of thin air, hovering before the astonished devils. To the first devil, the one who had offered the bread, he presented a simple-looking yet intricately woven hat. "This hat," the old man explained, "will make you invisible the moment you place it on your head. Use it to observe unseen and to help without seeking recognition." The first devil took the hat, his eyes wide with wonder, marveling at the soft fabric. Then the old man turned to the second devil. He presented him with a small leather purse, tied with a simple string. "This purse," he said, "will never be empty. No matter how much you take from it, you will always find a coin inside when you need one. Use this wealth not for greed, but to ease the suffering of others." The second devil accepted the purse, feeling its impossible weight, a single coin clinking inside. Finally, the old man faced the third devil. He handed him a magnificent cloak, the color of a twilight sky, embroidered with stars that seemed to twinkle. "And for you," he declared, "this cloak will allow you to fly anywhere in the world you wish, faster than the swiftest bird. Use it to travel to places where help is needed most, to be a beacon of hope across the land." The third devil wrapped the cloak around his shoulders, feeling a strange lightness, as if he could lift off the ground at any moment. The three little devils were speechless. They looked at their magical gifts and then back at the old man, their hearts overflowing with gratitude. They bowed deeply, thanking him over and over again. The old man simply smiled his kind smile, gave a final nod, and then, as mysteriously as he had appeared, he was gone, leaving only the scent of ozone and kindness in the air. The devils knew their lives had been changed forever. This wasn't just a stroke of luck. It was a responsibility. They didn't rush off to build a castle or hoard treasure for themselves. They remembered the old man's words, "Use your gifts wisely." So that's exactly what they did. Their journey for personal fortune had transformed into a mission to spread good fortune to others. They returned to the shadows of their world, but this time as unseen guardians. The first devil, with his invisibility hat, would sneak into the lairs of wicked demons who plotted to harm innocent villagers. He would listen to their plans, rearrange their traps, and sow confusion among them, thwarting their evil schemes before they could even begin. He moved like a ghost, a silent protector, ensuring the safety of those who never even knew he was there. The second devil, with his bottomless purse, traveled to the poorest villages in the land. He saw families struggling just as they once had. He would anonymously leave bags of coins on doorsteps in the dead of night, fill the donation boxes of struggling orphanages, and fund the construction of new wells and shelters. He never sought thanks. The sight of children with full bellies and parents with relieved smiles was all the reward he needed. His wealth flowed endlessly to mend the tears in the fabric of the community. And the third devil, with his flying cloak, became a symbol of hope in the sky. He would soar over mountains and across oceans, rescuing travelers lost in storms, guiding ships through treacherous waters, and carrying messages of peace between warring kingdoms. When disaster struck, a flood in a valley or a fire on a mountain, he was the first to arrive. A dark speck in the sky bringing aid and comfort, a swift angel of mercy. Together, they were an unstoppable force for good. They stopped wicked demons from plaguing the countryside. They brought prosperity to forgotten corners of the world, and they fostered a new era of peace throughout the forest and the lands beyond. The whispers about them began to change. People no longer spoke of devils with fear, but with reverence and awe. The stories told around campfires were not of evil spirits, but of mysterious benefactors. In time, everyone in the land came to know of them not as the three poor devils, but as the good devils. Their legend grew, a testament to the idea that true wealth isn't found in gold or power, but in the kindness you show to others. And so, the three devils, once poor and unlucky, lived happily ever after, their hearts full, using their magical gifts not for selfish gain, but to continue their endless work of doing good deeds. Their story serves as a timeless reminder that even in the darkest of places, the smallest act of kindness can ignite the brightest light. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this story with me today. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more tales that warm the heart. We'll see you in the next video.